like you can't really work at it.
Recording was on.
Welcome to DXgov governance discussion for Wednesday, February 16th. Happy ETH Denver. Starting really with the proposal roundup. Despite some of the ETH Denver, we actually have a somewhat active week on the proposal front, particularly on mainnet. Oh, screen sharing has failed. See if it works now. Oh, guess not. It's weird. Well, Jitsi, another bug. Anyway, just on mainnet, yeah, there's a couple different proposals here. There is the Signal proposal scheduling Sigma Prime for auditing services. This is the audit. A Signal proposal for future audit, which would be a pretty large expenditure, and it would take place, I think it goes over May. So this would be a Signal proposal on whether or not to proceed with that. And then there is also a proposal for grant investment to Karma. Karma Crypto has been in and around the community the last couple months there, and I believe that's a 100,000 K grant that would be there. And then there is the DXD buyback extension number 6, and also transfer proposal. So there's just a couple things to note with this. We're actually, I think it's been 26 days since the last buyback extension proposal was submitted. So that was kind of the amount of time we ran through that $1 million. Part of that was because ETH had changed a little bit in there. So we actually ran through the ETH a little bit quicker based on the calculation. But also because Dave has been we've been like streamlining a lot of things, and Dave's been doing a really good job of submitting them on a schedule. So it's kind of good. I think that we're hitting this so quickly on another extension. I think you there's been a lot of interesting activity, I think, on the DXD front, conversation for another day. But then in this buyback extension, the other thing that is new is there is some ability to compensate for missed orders or missed buybacks due to technical error, solvers. Like there's a million things that kind of go wrong. Obviously, like the favorite one is the OWL liquidity when we have to get. But this would basically, if the past week does not have 125% of the average daily trading volume, then the next order can like compensate a little bit of that. And then any order though cannot be more than 60% of average daily trading volume, even if it's trying to compensate that. I don't expect that to really ever happen that much, especially as I was saying for the last one, the orders have been going pretty quickly. But I think that's like a good safeguard with the community, and something I think the community was asking for. So yeah, that's with that one, the buyback extension. So that will pass in a week, and then we'll transfer the funds to the relayer on Gnosis chain, and then we'll continue to be doing that. And I think we talked about it a little bit last week. There was an interesting discussion from Connor in the forum. Maybe worth checking out. Maybe we should be having some chats about that while we're also here in Denver. And then there is that proposal is on. There's a Signal proposal also on Gnosis chain for the extension number 6. So like you can vote there if you'd like to signal your support. And then the last proposal on mainnet is very, very cool. Or I guess my favorite proposals are always the ENS proposals. But it's an update to dx.eth for the v1.1 release. Keenan, I don't know if you want to like take a little victory lap or more explain a little bit about what this release is entailed, because there's a lot of things in there.
Yeah, a lot going on with DXdocs. This was kind of pushed out a little quicker than maybe it should have, mainly to get the information in the hands of the hackers. So there's a lot of kind of information dump, maybe not organized as well as it could have been, but looking to kind of after ETH Denver We'll be kind of fixing up the hashing, and we'll be fixing up the organization and whatnot. So lots of information to look forward to, lots of stuff for our hackers to kind of gloss over that should be passing here in the next day or two.
I used the new DXdocs yesterday to get some of the brand assets for the presentation I'm creating. Because, of course, since the proposal is up, you can access it through the IPFS hash there. So excited to have that all there because it really is like just a functional resource that we can have, whether it's sharing internally or sharing with different people about like kind of how we operate, and just like links, right? Like think about how much time like you're going to like get different links to contracts or all of these other things. So yeah, that's a exciting proposal there. And then yeah, that's it for mainnet. Any thoughts, comments, concerns on mainnet? Cool. And then moving over to Gnosis Chain, a little less activity on Gnosis Chain. Ross Nielsen's worker proposal is there, and then also Lucy Foss's worker proposal is there, and this is the one where Lucy typically like puts his proposal without a payment up first, and then claims the payment in the second one. So this is actually a proposal that has the scope and everything in it, but there's not actually a payment there. And then, as I said before, there's the DXD buyback extension number 6 proposal that's up on Gnosis Chain, and then there are 5 buyback orders, 132 through 136, that are currently live right now. And I think we will kind of glide, hopefully, into the next extension in terms of getting the funds there to be able to continue these uninterrupted. So yeah, there's those 5 buyback orders. And then the last proposal in Gnosis Chain, which is kind of cool or interesting, is the unpool 15K from Swapper. Dave, I don't know if you want to chat briefly about this and maybe discover like what was something we like a small obstacle we ran into we weren't expecting.
Sure. So the proposal is just to test withdraw some liquidity from Swapper, given that we're making a new larger deposit, and just want to make sure everything works correctly. And yeah, I guess the withdraw function has like a set of parameters which took some time to kind of find out. So of course you have to specify the addresses of you just specify the addresses of the tokens of the pair, and then the smart contract actually finds the pool automatically through the swapper factory. And then you actually need to pass the liquidity parameter as well, which after some research we believe is the amount of liquidity you want to withdraw. So of course the pools give you a certain token which represents the holdings in the pool, and then you also have to pass the minimum amount of tokens you want back. So typically you would have to go and take the amount of tokens you want to withdraw, look at the total token supply of that pool, and then kind of derive the value of one token, and then kind of divide that up in 2 and request half in one token, half in the other. And of course, you're reducing them a little bit in case of price volatility over the next 5 days. And yeah, then you also pass some Oracle information for pulling data from there. And I think that's pretty much it, right, Chris? But
yeah, well, it's
yeah.
interesting because I mean, Dave and I and really everyone has a lot of experience with like the buyback, the Gnosis protocol relayer, and this operates in a similar way. But it was interesting going through it that there were clearly like some things that we had to do that were differently. And the big thing was like, yeah, you said this parameter liquidity, which we weren't exactly sure what that was, but we are now pretty sure it's the number of LP tokens to take out. So you have to figure out like how much is one LP token for the WEF XDI pair. And then that determines how many you're going to take out. So I think it's like $115 an LP token. So you actually are taking out like 130 LP tokens, and then you need to set parameters around the amount of WEF and XDAI that you're willing to accept that coming out. So anyway, that's the proposal for Unpool, and I think actually we should maybe Dave, we should connect in the afternoon and do the other swapper deposit proposals and get them up, assuming this one goes through, and then those should be good to go.
Yep, totally.
Is that using some whitelisted pairs and token addresses? Because sometimes different addresses may have the same symbol.
What do you mean by symbol?
Like, because you maybe I missed it, but you mentioned you could add the asset and it picks it up from a list. Like,
so I'm not
verify the address.
Yeah, I'm not an expert in the smart contract, but like just going through the smart contract quickly, I saw you just pass the addresses of the pool, so the tokens in the pool. So instead of passing the smart contract, which is the actual pool, you pass the wrapped XDAI address and the WEF address in order. You need to sort them, but that's not really significant. And then the smart contract calls the swapper factory with those two addresses, and it's then returned the contract address of that pool. So there's not really any way to go wrong, because there's only one pool for that given pair, and you just pass the addresses of the actual tokens in the pair. Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know, John, if you are more familiar with it, but pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah. I think you guys have it correct. I'm going to drop the relayer address here in the chat if you want to see. I think that top DX swap token is the WEF pair, and yeah, you can see the amount there. So I think like the liquidity that you guys are specifying, it's like 130 out of the 14,000, and yeah, it looks right to me.
Yeah, it's only like a little tricky because you input the amount of LP tokens you want to take out, but you never actually input the LP token address. You just input the other two token addresses that then give you that, that returns that. Anyway, that's interesting to go through that. Cool, and that was it for Gnosis Chain, and then there are a couple other proposals, and then on Arbitrum there are actually a couple of proposals regarding the swapper farming. So we have a new epoch coming up, and there will be some farming campaigns on Gnosis Chain that involve GNO and Carrot, and lots of kind of cool, exciting things. And I think we have an announcement about that maybe coming out today.
Yeah, that's correct. Looking to come out today. Also looking to cement a couple things. We'll need some signers again tonight and or kind of midday here around 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But we'll keep you guys up to date on that. But yeah, the farming should be starting tomorrow. We'll have GNO rewards all in carrots. We'll have some swapper carrots, lots of fun new stuff to go around. And that also represents a shift from 20% to 40% on Gnosis Chain. So super exciting times.
Cool. Yeah, and that was it for the agenda, or I guess all the proposals, and I didn't really have any discussion items that I wanted to bring up. I wasn't sure if there was anything anyone wanted to bring up about governance in general or something specific to Denver here. Obviously, anyone listening now is invited to DXgov's happy hour in 8 hours at Stony River, a fine establishment, and should be a lot of fun.
And they have cornholes, so definitely worth coming.
I don't think it's called Stony River, but is it?
Sounds good.
Is that a beer or something?
Mountain Dew.
Stoney's Bar and Grill, I think.
Yeah.
Did we get the cornholes booked, or did we forget to ask?
Are the cornholes inside or outside?
Inside.
I don't know which. It's a big place. Is it like, I don't know if we have the room or the area where those are, but we can move them if we want them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do a competition to win Copenhagen Flames jerseys. Whoever wins at cornhole.
Dave,
We throw them yesterday. It was super fun. So it would be awesome if we can have them.
Yeah, I beat Augusto at the game yesterday.
He didn't beat me, of course. Of course, the Argentinian win. Anyway, it would be awesome if we can have them.
Well, it's a partner game, so you guys should be looking for a partner to play with.
oh, I never knew that. You play in tandem, like in couples?
It's like 2v2, yeah.
Oh wow! But speaking of
You could tell-
cornhole, like Dave, you could sport some cornrows and be the bouncer. You will look like Post Malone.
I didn't get it, but corn. Okay.
Cornrows, you know that you